Hi, and welcome to the Power Hour. We're back here at the Heritage Corridor Business Alliance, and we're so proud to have Mike Pensinger with us. Mike is with Pensinger Financial. He's the founder and owner of the company. So let me introduce you to Mike. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing, Dan. Thanks for having me. I appreciate your time. So, I am a certified financial planner and president of Pensinger Financial. So, Pensinger Financial is an honest, straightforward, and transparent financial planning and investment management firm. So, we specialize in personal wealth management and small business retirement plans. Additionally, we are the highest rated financial planning firm in the Lamont area based on Google reviews.
Mike, that's great. And you have a good topic for us today, and it's something that everybody is going to have to consider kind of in their lifetime. So I'm going to kind of let you take it away from here.
Sure thing. We are going to dive into the financial planning order of operations. So I will get into what that is. Anybody that has kids in junior high, high school, and we have math order that we have to do things, that's the same thing on the financial planning side. So I'm going to get into that in retirement planning side. Um, so for the clients that I have, basically they fall into two buckets. So the first set of clients are those people in their 50s and 60s who they have money already saved for retirement, 401k plans, IRAs, and they're starting to look at, okay, where am I at for planning for retirement? So that's bucket one. And what I'm focused on today in this presentation are the clients in bucket two. So those clients are like Dan, they're like you and me, Dan. They're people in their 30s and 40s that establish careers, 401ks, 403bs, putting money into IRAs, kind of have, things over here, things over there, have kids, families, figuring all that out, planning for college, knowing that retirement is probably a couple decades away, but it's something they're starting to really look more at now than 10, 15, 20 years ago when they first started out. So those clients that fall into bucket number two that come to me and want some financial guidance on planning for retirement, I say, okay, that's great that you want to save for retirement and plan for retirement. But we have to take a step back, and actually two steps back first. And we have to look at our financial planning order of operations. So I'm going to get into that right now. If you go to pen-fin.com/order, you will find these bullet points that Dan's going to put up and some more information on that. And that's what I'm going to talk about. There's also a PDF there that you can download and print and follow along with the presentation if you like. So again, that's pen-fin.com/order. If I went with an acronym, it would be /FPOO. So I decided to go with order instead. But though that's kind of funny and resonates maybe a little bit more, maybe I'll change it. So that's where we're at on that. So we're going to get into those three steps. So saving for retirement and or saving for college is step three. So we have to go back two steps and look at step one first, which is our debt issues. Okay. So when we do the financial planning order of operations and we look at debt, it's okay to have debt, and there is good debt out there. Typically, if we're talking to people in their 30s and 40s, they have a home loan. It's generally a fixed rate. If you've got a home loan, whether it's a new house, a new purchase, or a refinance over the last couple of years, you're probably at a very good low fixed rate, maybe high twos or low threes. Now we're at rates that are high fours, low fives for, say, a 30-year fixed. But that's a good rate that's fixed and locked in for a long time, for the life of the loan. So car loans as well. My wife and I just bought a car about a month and a half ago, and our rate is 1.9% for 4 years. So we're locked in at a low fixed rate, which is great. So really what we're looking at with step one is the credit card debt. So people want to save for retirement, but we got to look at the credit card debt first. So if you have it's okay to have credit card, and if you're paying them off to zero each month, that's great. But if you have high interest credit card debt, so you have interest rates at 15, 20, 25%, basically, and you're borrowing each month and you're paying those interest rates, a very simple mathematical and financial way to look at this is if you want to save for retirement, so every dollar that you have that you're going to put into retirement, into that 401k plan or IRA, maybe you get 10% return. So you make a dime on that dollar. Well, if you're borrowing on your credit cards and you're paying 25% interest, that's a quarter that's going out the door. So for every dollar that you put to work, you're paying a quarter and you're getting a dime in return. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to work. We don't want that. You're losing 15 cents in every dollar that you put to work. So we want to look at your high interest debt first. So if you have high interest debt, there's two ways to solve it or to go about taking care of it. So one is a financial or mathematical way to look at it, and the other is a psychological way to look at it. So on the mathematical side, you say, okay, say I have 3 credit cards and they're at rates of 10, 15, and 25%. Well, the 25% interest rate credit card, that's hurting me the most financially. So I'm going to tackle that one first. So I'm going to put any additional money that I have towards that highest interest rate credit card because that hurts me the most, and I'm going to pay that off. Now I'm going to go to the next in the line and go to that 15% and pay it off. So we want to get to credit cards, no credit card debts, credit cards paid down to zero. Okay to put purchases and everything on credit cards, but you want to get to the point where you are able to financially pay your credit cards off to zero each month. So the other method, the psychological method to it, what's also called the Snowball Method, is you look at your credit cards and you take the smallest balance first. So say you have those 3 credit cards, again at 25, 15, 10%, whatever they are, and you say, maybe your 10%, the lowest interest rate, the one that hurts you the least, maybe it only has $1,000 on it, and the other credit cards have more on it. So you say, all right, I'm going to tackle this one first because I'm going to get that paid off the quickest. And now I've gone from 3 credit cards down to 2 credit cards. So it starts to snowball, and then eventually you go from 2 credit cards down to 1 in terms of your outstanding debt. And so then there's that psychological aspect. So for the individuals to decide, you want to take the financial approach or the psychological approach to pay off your credit card. So that's step number 1. You want to get your high interest debt taken care of. Typically the high interest debt is your credit card debt. Student loans can kind of be a gray area. That's a topic for a different conversation. Right now people aren't having to make payments. Payments are delayed, or it could be kind of a gray area with your interest rate where it's not too bad, but it's not as low as, say, a car loan or a home loan. So that's a different discussion that we can have. So when we have step 1 taken care of, we can move to step 2, which is our emergency account. So Dan, I'm going to put you on the spot with just a yes or no question. Do you know how much money you make?
I do.
You do, right? All right. Most of us do, right? Unless we make so much money that we don't even know how much money is coming in the door. Most average people out there know what their salary is, how much money is coming in the door. Okay. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, I know you're married, have a young son. Do you know your household, what you spend to live each month on average? So do you know what's going out the door on average each month? And that's from big tickets items on down. So rent, mortgage, car payments, health insurance, groceries, utilities, Netflix, Starbucks, all that stuff. Do you know how much on average your family spends to live each month? Yes or no?
Yes, we do actually stick pretty good to a budget. So that was one thing that we kind of are happy about.
Yeah, we should have done this beforehand because I would have told you just say no because that works better.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have no idea, right? So that's great. That's very important, and I'm glad. Actually, whether it's yes or no, I'm glad your answer is yes in that capacity because that's good to know. A lot of us know how much is coming in the door, but not how much is going out the door. So I ask that question a lot, and people are like, I kind of have an idea. I don't really know. So we want to know what's going out the door because that drives how much money we need to have in our emergency account. So the way to look at this is, and you'll see it if you go on the website in the PDF, there's a multiplier of how much money you should have of your average living expenses. So say your average living expenses are $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. It's obviously going to vary depending on the household and how they live and lifestyle and everything. So say it's $5,000 a month. but you're single and you have no dependents. Well, maybe you're comfortable having maybe 2, 3, 4 months worth of living expenses covered. So you're comfortable having 15, 20, 25 grand in savings account collecting some interest for you, and you have that money there. And the reason why you want that is so that you don't drop back into step one of borrowing on credit cards to whether to pay just average living expenses or daily living expenses, monthly living expenses. And also, if something happens, whether temporarily out of work, you lose a job, accident happens, appliance goes out, you have some cash on hand that you can pay for these items. So if you have children, larger family, obviously, if you have one kid versus 3 or 4 kids, it depends, makes a difference. If you and your spouse, if one spouse is the primary breadwinner and the other spouse is at home with the kids, that makes a difference too. So there's a different multiplier there that's outlined on my website of how much money that you want to have on hand. So maybe you're in a position where it's better for you to have 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 grand cash on hand in savings so that you don't have to worry about any issues with step one. And the big key component of this whole thing is that when people want to save for retirement and or for college expenses for the kids, it's okay to forego right now putting money into a 401k or to IRA if you have to take care of steps 1 and 2. So if your debt's taken care of, but you're low on cash, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not going to contribute to my 401k for the next 6 months, year or two, so that I can build up the cash that I have on hand, because it just makes it safer for you and just a better, more comfortable environment for you and your household. So on top of that, what we look at additionally when somebody is adequately funded for their emergency account is because cash on hand it's comfortable and it's good to have for you to cover those expenses. But it gets to the point where you can essentially have too much cash because it guarantees that you lose money. So if I said to you, Dan, I'm a financial advisor, and I say, hey, I got a great idea for you. We're going to leave your money in cash, and I'm going to guarantee that you lose money. Again, another yes or no question. Dan, are you on board with that? Yes or no? Is that what you want to do?
Wait, you told me to always say no, right?
Yeah, there we go. So no, of course not. You're not gonna say, yeah, sign me up for guaranteeing to lose money. But that's what inflation does on our purchasing power. People that aren't much aware of inflation typically are probably more aware of it right now. Grocery shopping. I just bought some spring veggies and flowers to plant outside. It's the time of the season. Pretty much everything was $5. Whereas I know a couple of years ago, you're usually in like the $2 to $3 range for your basic plants and flowers and stuff. So that's what inflation does. It erodes our purchasing power, so that what we can buy today, or what we have, the money we have today, buys less of it tomorrow. So when you have that emergency fund fully established, any cash above that, you then get into step 3 and you say, okay, now you are in a position to save for retirement. So basically it's like having a good, strong foundation in place. It's like building a house, right? We got to have a good, strong, solid, level foundation in place. And that's what steps 1 and 2 are in our financial house, is to have that strong foundation in place. And now we're at step 3, which is saving for retirement and or college funds. So the way that breaks down for step 3 is college. Typically, if you have kids, college comes closer than retirement for most people. So college is going to be the start of college, or any type of trade school, higher education, culinary school is typically 18 years away or less than that. So you can look at it on one hand and say, well, that's closer than retirement. So that's maybe more of a pressing need for me to save now for my kids to go to school. However, kids can work to pay for school. They can get loans, scholarships, grants. They can also go to a less expensive school, whether it's an in-state school or go to a community college for a couple of years or all 4 years or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of options on the college savings side. So maybe some people say, okay, yeah, I'd like to put a little away saving for my kids to go to school, but really I want to focus on my retirement. And the key thing with that is you only have one chance at getting your retirement right, and it's only on you to save for your retirement. There's Social Security. Social Security isn't meant to be everything for you, though, if it is there for people who are younger when they do get to that retirement age. So you don't want to rely completely on Social Security. You want to look at it as some additional income, but it's on you to save for retirement. So when we get into saving for retirement, we want to look at maximizing your tax advantages. So those are 401ks, 403bs. There's other types of business retirement plans or employer retirement plans out there. 401ks are the most common. You might have a simple IRA or a SEP IRA through where you work. IRAs as well, Roth and traditional. Dan, you and I did the difference between Roth and traditional and why one is not necessarily better than the other. So maybe if you get a chance, we could throw that link in here to that video. But those are IRAs that people use to save for retirement. So you have your 401ks or 403bs, IRAs. So typically we want to maximize the tax advantage savings for retirement. And we want to look at when you do save for retirement, you're looking at earning money and taking it from one pocket and putting it into another pocket that you're not going to touch until really age 60 or later. So if you can forego that money now and say, yes, I can put it away and I can, put 10 grand or $20,000 into my 401k. I can put $6,000 or into my Roth or traditional IRA, and I'm not going to touch it until age 60 or afterwards. If you can do that, then that's great. And that's what we want to focus on in step 3 is to maximize your tax advantage savings for retirement. After that, we can look at taxable investing. Taxable investing allows more flexibility. Put 100 grand in today and take 100 grand out tomorrow. And you don't have penalties or the tax implications that you get with IRAs that is pretty much locking it up until after age 60. And then we can also look at college savings plans like 529 plans we do for clients as well. So hopefully that works for everybody and they understand. Have a quick overview, Dan, of financial planning order of operations. Again, that's at pen-fin.com/order. Goes through those steps. You can follow those steps, watch the video, and ultimately reach out to me if you're looking to have a conversation. I do complimentary phone calls or video calls over Zoom. For people who want to have a discussion, you can go to pen-fin.com/contact. There's a contact us page there. You can schedule a meeting directly with me on my calendar, find a time that fits for you, and we can have a discussion and go from there.
And Mike, thank you so much for joining. I mean, this is a very good, this is important for everybody, and I hope that everybody does take the time to watch this video and things of that nature. One of the interesting things about myself and my family situation is that when you have kids later in life, you're saving for retirement and college basically within a couple of year period.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's definitely my advice is do what I did and marry a college professor. Okay. That will help with the with some of those bills.
Yeah, some of the college you're right.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But no, great. We're definitely gonna put the links out to both that video we did. Actually, it was almost probably 9 or 10 months ago that we actually did that, as well as that financial order of operations sheet on your website.
Perfect. Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it, and thank you to the HCBA for putting this on. These have been great, and I've enjoyed watching them.
Yeah, and thank you so much. We're going to give a quick reminder that whether you're listening to us via podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button. Check us out on YouTube as well. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified of all the different videos that we'll be putting out. We actually have 5 on the schedule for this week. Those will probably hit later this week and early next week by the time they're all edited down. But once again,
can you give me an idea of what topics we have coming?
Our next one is actually, we are going to, for those familiar with Lamont, Model X Studios is our next video. We're going to be kind of taking a dive into their business as well, followed by Cultivate Advisors with Mike Shields. Mike has been a frequent guest and is a business advisor as well.
Okay.
And we're actually working with Lamont Bank and Trust. We're going to be doing we're still kind of working on which exact topic we're going to do, but it's definitely going to be business related for those that are business owners. And we're definitely going to have Mike on again. Mike feel free to let us know anytime you are interested in doing the show again.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, Dan. I'm looking forward to those other videos to come, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to chat with everybody.
I'll say anytime, and make sure you find out more about us. Visit the Heritage Quarter Business Alliance website, myhcba.com. Once again, my name is Dan Molka. I'm the Executive Director of the Heritage Corridor Business Alliance, and we'll be with you again sooner than you know it. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.